Hey, welcome back to Donna and Friends. Hey, it's time for another Donna log this week, and we're going to start off with what's kind of making big news across the country, and it is the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile accident. Now, I have to say that there are 5 or so of these Wienermobiles, but this one was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when it slammed into a pole. We've got a little bit of video, so let's check it out.
All right, let the puns begin. It's trending on Twitter. People having fun with this story on our Facebook page. Yes, that is the infamous Oscar Mayer Wienermobile after a crash Sunday afternoon in Cumberland County. It happened on South Enola Road in Enola. The Wienermobile reportedly crashed into a utility pole. Luckily, nobody was injured. And this, like I said, has become such a popular story that it is currently one of the top trending stories in all of Facebook.
So there you have it. I mean, a lot of damage, it looks like, sustained there, but no one got hurt, and that's the good news. Now, I recently learned that we actually had an appearance by one of those Wienermobiles at Escott's. Now, this has been some time back, a few years ago, but how cool is that? Wouldn't it have been a horrible scene, though, if that Wienermobile had crashed here in Cushing? Now, we've had the weather recently for something like that, and, you know, I just say keep the Wienermobile off the road during bad weather. You know, we've had a lot of news saying, hey, stay off the roads. If it's bad weather, then you don't need to be driving. And I think the Wienermobile crashing this way is kind of proof that you don't want to drive your Wienermobile during bad weather, nor perhaps your own vehicle. You know, it made me start thinking about Cushing and that we don't really have any food trucks around in this area. Now, I've heard tell that some people don't want the food trucks in, or it's some sort of city ordinance, but I'm thinking to myself, we need food trucks in this town. We have wonderful places to eat here in town and places that have been here for years. But wouldn't it be neat to see a few food trucks come throughout the week, offer a little different type of food? So I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'm going to ask the city about this. Maybe I need to find out, is there really an ordinance against food trucks here in Cushing? I mean, you find them in Stillwater and all over the place. It's just, we need food trucks. And we need the Wienermobile to come back, I think. But we'll wait till spring to really start campaigning for that. Okay, well, you know, next we're going to talk about tweeting. We're going to throw in a little bit of Facebook posting here because everybody seems to be on Facebook. They seem to have a Twitter account. And you see a lot of posts or tweets that really are not acceptable. And you see a lot of bullying going on via these tweets, via the Facebook page. I mean, I've even been, unfortunately, involved in a little bit of it myself, just here locally. So let's think about a Texas teen whose tweet got her fired on Twitter. Well, it happened in Mansville, Texas, where a Texas teenager lamented the start of her new pizzeria job on Twitter and found herself fired via a tweet before her first day on the job. The teenager, who used the handle @Celia_ on Twitter, took the microblogging site Friday to complain about the impending start of her new job at Jet's Pizza franchise in Mansfield. Boy, that sounds like a tough gig there. Ew, I gotta start this explicit job tomorrow, she posted, along with a string of displeasing emoticons and emojis. So, you know, it was really a bad situation. Now, here's what happened, and this is what happens so many times. The tweet caught the attention of someone rather important, the franchise owner himself, Robert Waffle, who solved Celia's problem for her. He tweeted to her, "No, you don't have to start the job today. I just fired you. Good luck with your no money and good luck with your no job life." He tweeted that on Saturday. Well, Celia, for her part, she didn't seem that upset about losing her job. Being young again. Today, we wouldn't think like that at our age, but she's like, so what? She said, "I got fired over Twitter," she tweeted. The teenager said she called the store and a manager did confirm that she was fired. Now, working the register, taking those phone orders, making some subs and salads, and eating free pizza, how hard would that have been? That's what Waffle tweeted before he apparently removed all the tweets from his Twitter account. Now, Jets America Incorporated said in a statement issued to a local news station that Mansfield location is independently owned and operated. Jets America Incorporated, as the franchisor, cannot dictate to the employment practices or decisions of independently owned and operated franchise businesses, a spokeswoman said. Nevertheless, Jets regrets to see the manner in which the situation has been handled by all the parties involved. So there you have it. You know, so many times we just post the first thing that comes into our mind on Facebook or tweet the first thing that comes into our mind, and those aren't always good decisions. In fact, they can cause you a change in your livelihood. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, and I've also seen tweets that I have thought, what were they thinking when they tweeted that, when they posted that on Facebook? And then, interesting to me enough, a lot of times those posts seem to disappear. Someone, I think, has either pointed it out, or maybe they looked at it after they got over whatever it was they were going through and said, oh, I can't believe I just Facebooked that, and I can't believe I just tweeted that. What was wrong with me? So, you know, there you have it. Think before you tweet. It could cost your job. Think before you post on Facebook or any of the other social media things that we're able to just instantaneously send out our feelings about. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about another story in Pennsylvania, and that is where a 74-year-old man took down a suspected shoplifter, 74 years old. Now, this happened in North Franklin Township in Pennsylvania. A suspected shoplifter at a Pennsylvania mall found himself at the mercy of a 74-year-old man who tackled the suspect and threatened to break his arm. Charlie Burton, age 74, of Fombell, said he was selling the pins he created from old bullets at a Washington County sportsman show, which was located within the mall, when suddenly he spotted a disturbance near the food court. I was going to the food court to get something to eat, and I went over there, and there was an officer. He had a fella up against the counter, and there I saw that the guy was in trouble. Burton said he rushed to the help of the security guard. I think the officer tripped him up a little bit, and I gave him a flip and put him down, said Burton. He kept hollering, "You're hurting my arm. You're going to hurt my arm. You better quit fussing," I said. "Quit moving around and fighting, or I'll just break it." Police said the suspect, Jonathan Fedeke Jr., age 29, allegedly fled from the mall's Macy's store with $200 worth of clothing stuffed in his jacket. I wonder what he'd do if he knew one of the people he was tussling with was twice his age, Burton told the local reporter. The scuffle was photographed by a state senator that was a Republican of the 46th district. He had his hand and he twisted it all around and was not letting go, the senator said. How dumb do you have to be to shoplift in a mall completely packed with sportsmen? And I have to agree with that. I know here in Oklahoma, if we were at a gun and knife show and some would-be suspect of shoplifting decided to make off with any kind of goods, well, you can bet that there would just be a crowd of those gunsmen all around. I mean, it just wouldn't be a safe place to shoplift. Here again, it's in the weird news, and it's in the weird news because a lot of the criminals in the weird news, they just don't think before they do their crimes. Now, Fedeke was booked on charges of retail theft and simple assault. He was taken to the Washington County Jail in lieu of a $10,000 bond, and he is due in court later on in this month of February for a preliminary hearing. Well, I'm sure he will learn that the guy that took him down was indeed 74 years of age. So, you don't ever want to discount someone just because of their age. We've seen a lot of different news stories where someone's been beat by someone older when they were trying to do something illegal or harm another person. With the information highway as it is with our devices like my mobile phone, your iPads, laptops, all kinds of ways to get your information, I think people that read these stories, including myself, have to stop and say, wow. Is that for real? Did that really just happen? Now, at this point, I do want to bring something into play in all of this information, because you can't always read what you see, or believe what you read on the internet. And that is a website called Snopes.com. If ever you see something political or of any nature, you can check it by going to Snopes.com and making sure that it's real before you put it on Facebook or out there on Twitter. How many times have I seen my Facebook buddies or my tweet buddies put something up on one of these social media sites that simply is not true? So check it on Snopes before you embarrass yourself. And if it is true, stop and think for a minute. Hey, I don't want to be caught like that. Dumb crimes, weird news. This is Donna Judd with Donalog this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll have another one coming soon.
You're watching RDMG TV.